Show me your finances and I will tell you who you are. I will look at the things that you spend your money on and I will tell you what your priorities are. I want you to list every single item of expense that you have. Yes, every single item of expense that you have, no matter how small, no matter how big. From your bank charges to the snacks that you take while you are waiting for your bus to work. The things that you buy, the things that you treasure, the money that you give away to relatives, friends, the causes that you support, everything, put it down on paper. And put down on paper every income that you have. When you look at your expenses keenly, there are several trends that you will see. For example, most people pay rent. And this is Kenyan statistics that were carried out. At least 46% of their income going towards rent and utilities related to their housing situation. 46% of your income. A lot of people are in that category in Kenya, as the statistics were carried out the other day. And this means one thing or several things. Either you love living well and enjoying a nice location and the prestige that comes with a nice location. It could be that is what we're talking about. It could also be that your income is not as good, but the housing is probably not as cheap. So you have less income, but you still have to pay housing that is not necessarily very fancy or very nice, but necessary. The third thing could be that you are out living yourself. The income that you are making, you are living beyond your means. You are living beyond your means. If you live in a house that you are paying 46% or more of your income towards. Then let us look at the expenses again. If you see that the amount of food that you eat, the food that you eat is consuming 25% or more of your income, it means that you're eating too fancy, you're eating out too often, or your income is not as great again. So what does your income, your expenses figure for food mean for you? So if you want to cut down on costs as related to food, either you start growing some food on your small garden, you start buying things where they are cheaper, so start going to places where you get discounts, or you cut down on your eating. Maybe you are eating too fancy, eating out too much, cut down on that. You look at the expense lines of people, and then another cost comes with people who have children. School fees. If school fees is 25% or more of your income on a monthly basis, then there are several problems that come. You are paying way too much school fees than what is necessary. So this becomes an expensive situation if your school fees is 25% or more. Maybe you're taking your children to fancy schools because of the prestige that comes with it, not necessarily because it's what is necessary. You are living beyond your means. You cannot afford this. Let us be truthful to ourselves. You cannot afford this. And so you are trying to force a situation. I remember talking to one person and they said that they had to take their children out of a school simply because they realized they can't afford it. Every time an invoice from school came, they cringed because it meant there was some pressure that was coming. In fact, they took some time before they opened the letter because they knew this is pressure and they wanted to defy it as far as possible. People who take a loan to pay school fees for their children, probably your children are becoming too expensive in terms of school fees. There are several questions that you should have for yourself. Is this education going to mean a tangible benefit on their careers? So if it is going to be elementary education, nursery and pre-primary, then probably may not make sense, whether they are learning French or Spanish or German or whatnot. If it is that level of education at the lower level, it's not going to be worth that much. If it is tertiary level, however, It would mean that your child may go to a prestigious schools that even though they are paying a lot of fee, they may be able to get tangible networks and they will be able to get the prestige in their academics and in their certificates and in their CVs that will enable them to land certain jobs. In fact, some high-level companies pick people from only certain universities. This happens. And so if you want a tangible impact on your child's career, life, and prospects, then university education is where you can be able to pay this money that you cringe at paying. But if it is low-level primary school, please spare your money. Look for other things that you can be able to do to improve your child's life. Pay for some swimming classes that can be able to have some life lessons, some things that will actually have a tangible impact on their life. But if there's no tangible, visible impact on their careers, on their lives, on their prospects, then please let it go. The other thing, especially for people from my region, is money that you're giving out to friends and family. If it is a significant chunk of money, 25% or more, then sometimes it becomes problematic, especially if you are fueling over expenditure on another person's part, that their careless financial habits form an emergency on your part, and they prompt a messiah complex in you, a savior mentality in you, that you want to save them for their financial distress. If what they are doing is because of their poor financial habits, then I'm sorry, then you should stop funding those habits. If you're trying to improve the lives of your people by educating them so that they can be able to increase their prospects for financial careers, their careers in the future, then by all means, try as much as possible to push them to the next level. However, if you're being borrowed by your family and friends, fair for somebody who is working and they're still asking you for fair, they're asking you to pay school fees for their children, for some private school education, and they're also working. If they stopped working because the work was too tiresome and too difficult, and now they want you to take charge of their expenses, then that is a problem. If they want a big fancy wedding and they want you to finance it, then there's a problem there. These are problems that you will definitely see. Look at your expenses again. If the debts that you are paying are more than 30% of your income, then you are heavily in debt. You are debt distressed. The money that you pay towards your loan expenses should never be more than 30% of your income. And 30% is for a tangible asset that has a value, or at least holds value if it does not grow value, and at best generate some income. So if it is an investment in a car, a fancy new car, that is going to lose value today, tomorrow, the other day, and it is not generating any income because it is a personal asset which is depreciating, and if it is more than 30% of your income, then you made a bad financial decision. Plain and simple. If you are stressed by a loan that you cannot see a tangible benefit financially, there is no income that is coming, there is no value that is generating, there is no additional capital gains that you can be able to sell and say that I bought it at 1 million and I'm selling at 1.2 million, so I made some money. If there's nothing like that that you're talking about, then you made a bad financial decision. So two things that are in play. It is either you find a way of downgrading, you pay much, you get another assets, if it's a car, another car that you are paying slightly less, or you look for additional income. In fact, people think that all these things that we are talking about, their cures are more income. But the problem is, if you cannot be able to track, trace, control your expenses, that it doesn't matter how much more you earn, your bad financial habits will still chase you down the rabbit hole of life. So if you're the kind of person who has no control over your money, it does not matter. It is like a person who says that I can't swim in a swimming pool, so maybe if I find an ocean, I'll find a way of surviving. If you cannot survive swimming at the deep end of a swimming pool, then an ocean will drown you. All this money that you are thinking will cure your financial habits, if it comes, it will take you like a flood, because you cannot swim in the simple swimming pool that you already have. If the small monies that you have are overwhelming you, then the big monies that will come in waves and droves will surely drown you. So it is better to plan for your finances. Look at your finances in reality. Look at your expense lines. Look at your income and all these things, and think about how much value am I going to look at. And one of the best ways to look at your finances objectively is to look at what is my current situation, where do I want to go, and this is where planning comes in, and what do I do now to get to where I want to be. So for example, if you eat all the money that you have, so whatever comes in goes out, you earn 20,000 and 20,000 goes out, then you ask yourself, where do I want to be in 5 years? Maybe you are thinking, I need to have a plot of land. I need to have a land investment somewhere. So then you think about, how much land am I looking to buy? Where am I looking to buy? And what are the current costs of this land? You figure out it's maybe 200,000. So for 200,000, I'm looking at 5 years plan. So I need at least 40,000 every month, assuming there's no inflation. So 40,000 every year, so that in the next 5 years I can be able to buy this piece of land that is worth 200,000. So 40,000. Then you digest it back to every month. This comes to around 3,000 to 4,000 Kenya shillings or thereabout. So how much do I need to cut down on to be able to get this 3,000 to 4,000 Kenya shillings? And this is where the tracking of your budget comes in. Then you look at what is necessary, what is important, what can I not do without, and what can I be able to substitute for something cheaper. That is how you're able to do your part, personal finances, in a way that could be able to help you grow in your financial journey. And remember, once you're disciplined with a little, even if a lot comes, it will not take you like a flood, because you know how to swim the financial waters of a small swimming pool. So when you come across an ocean, or if floodgates come your way, you will know where to take your money, how to use your money, how to control your spending, and how to live below or within your means in the best possible. I hope you're learning, you're growing, and becoming better in your financial affairs. Soon in the future, I might start having sessions with people, I might start having studies, I might write a book which may be able to help you additionally. So subscribe to the channel and you will be able to find out more about this. Thank you and enjoy your